Hello and welcome to another free code session. My name is Jason Bach and I'm going to continue on with updating all this Blazor code. We're making good progress. There's a couple of minor cleanup things I want to do, and one of them is constants. So I don't want to screw up the name of the things I'm trying to reference in JavaScript files. So what I'm going to do is, I don't like just having a class called constants, but you know, needs must, right? No, I don't want a controller class, I just want a class. Okay, public static class, and then I need, where am I doing this? I think in geolocation is 1. Public. I guess I could make this internal because it really doesn't need to go out. Internal const string geolocation method. Okay, that's 1, and then the sequence charting. You have another one. Charts method. Okay, so now I want to say current project types. Doesn't matter. Okay, and then where was the other ones? That's fine. Right. Okay, so that takes care of that. Now we need constants geolocation methods everywhere this is. And then this one. Okay, let's just run that quick and make sure that that's all good. That's good. That's good. You are all invoking the things. Awesome. Okay, cool. So that was one thing I wanted to do, a little small thing, but I just didn't, if I change the name or I do something else, I don't want to screw that up. So the other one is, another one is reference, or ref. So for example, in sequence, and I'll probably have to do this in, is right now, yeah, I'm going to have to change the method, is I'm passing over, if you notice here, into my charting, is I'm passing in an identifier. Okay, that identifier is whatever I'm calling class chart. Okay, but I really don't want to do that. What I really want to do is pass over the element, that is what context is, and then just let chart draw on that. So we're going to do this one in sequence first. So what I want to do is Blazor University, it's got all the things that I want. So what I want to do is here say in the canvas here, I want to do a ref, and what we're going to do is make it explicit, and we're going to say element reference chart reference. Okay, and so now we're going to say ref is equal to chart reference. Is that it? No, you don't use, yeah, I was like, why is it doing that? Why did it do that? Okay, so now we do that, and then down here we do this dot chart reference. Okay. All right. I guess to be consistent, I could say like that. Okay. Now I'm going to also have to do this within the MVVM because I have to do this all at one time. Okay. So yeah, we don't need now in the view model chart ID anymore. What we're going to need to do is pass in. So if we come over here, grab that. Oh no, I put that put that in the model. That's right. Public element reference chart reference. Okay, so now instead of here, we're going to say ref is equal to chart reference. Okay. Now we don't have to pass that in because it will automatically do that. So if we go to our, well, yes and no. We have to change it here and go, now pass in chart reference, and chart reference. Yay, we've got the references. Now the last thing is here, instead of passing in an ID, we just pass an element. Okay, so we no longer need context. We just need to pass in element. Okay. That should be it for that. Run that. And boom! Pow! Didn't work. What didn't work? Okay. Cannot read property length of null. Yeah. What did I do wrong? Let's go through this again. Sequence. There's a chart reference. That's set to that. And then invoke. Those are just all the things. And if we look at charting, we're now passing in over an element. Okay. So if I do that, and I'm passing in set focus element, well, well, this is fun. Okay, so what, it blew up, let me actually pull this over here so you can all see this. That's just a whole bunch of crap. I mean, it's blowing up when I say, you know, that. Well, I thought that'd be easier than it was. A ref provides a special property with a reference to the element or component. So I'm referencing the canvas. That's chart reference. And that's an element. So chart reference is an element reference. So if I pass that into here, what I had before is an ID, and I'd say document get element by ID. And that was the context. Well, now I don't need to do that anymore. I just pass in the element itself. Because get element by ID, I had the ID as this class chart ID. And that's what I was passing in as the first thing, as a value, which is a string. Now I'm actually passing in the chart reference. And they're both canvas. This is... You'd think this would be easy. Require reference in HTML element, decorate that element. Yep. Or create a member with the type element reference, identify it on the element using the ref attribute. Yep. Okay. Ref attribute. Ref. It's a ref. Why don't you like that? Why are you doing this? Just let me... No, I don't want to see all that. Yeah, I did bullet 2. So, which is what it's supposed to do. So I don't understand why it doesn't like it. Charts, update chart. Passing in the element. Document get element by ID. That's your context. That was the only difference. What? This is one of these things I thought would actually be really easy. This is element. It's called element. So there was never anything else in here called element. And where it's failing, it's not. God bless it. So let's do inspect here. Yep, it's blue. I don't know. It didn't work, and now it's working. So go figure. Okay, so that works. Jeez. That works, doesn't it? We're all good. We're all good. Okay. So, okay. Just managing some kid stuff. So, okay, cool. So that takes care of that. Okay. We're doing all right. So, updated code to use ref. And added constants, but who's counting? All right, now let's do that one. This one might be a little bit of a fun one. I have to actually go into have movies to watch, but I had some notes on my presentation here. And yeah, do events, binding, yeah, blah blah. Testing. Oh, I wanted to do a Selenium test. Well, I'll do that. I think I'm going to do that tonight off screen because I want to just be a bunch of floundering. So, and then I do want to try a threading one. The threading one will be interesting because I want to see. Yeah, I've already done the debugging one. I've already, already done all the debugging. But at least enough to prove out what I was thinking. The threading one is just, what I want to do is say, hey, use the collapse function to say between the numbers 1,000 and 5,000 or something like that. Find out which number generates the longest sequence. Okay. Now, what you can do is say, well, I have 4 or 8 hyper cores, whatever, on my machine. And so parcel that up. Let one thread do 1,000 to 1,500, and then do next one from 1,501 to 2,000, and just keep incrementing it in blocks. Let them run and let them call a function that it does each call in sequence, and then it finds out what's the longest one, reports that back. And the one that composes all these calls will then determine, well, the one that just finished, did it find one that was longer than one I had? And then, so do something like that. Okay. The thing is, WebAssembly doesn't, it's getting like in Chrome, There's a version that you can actually turn on threads. I don't know though if the WebAssembly version of Blazor does anything with threads. There's also, I think, service workers or web workers or whatever those are. Shows you how much I know. To see if maybe I can do something to say, have the worker actually call something to do all the work, and then it reports back what it is, and see if that's an option. And then do timings on those, just some very basic timings, and see which one. I don't want to do any benchmarking on it per se, like with benchmark.js or something like that. There's actually a Uno example using benchmark, but it even says because threads aren't supported, that the UI just basically hangs until all of it's done, and then it just prints out everything on the right side, which is not ideal. So what we need to do is, I just want to show, hey, if you're thinking of doing threading in a console app, this is what it does. Now, if we do it in Blazor right now, this is what happens, and it kind of falls on its face. And it also, I want to show, like, if I run it with it being one thread compared to running it with a bunch of tasks, what's the difference in speed, and then what would happen if I do that in Blazor. So that's an example that I might do later on camera. We'll see. That might be a whole bunch of flailing. But the testing one, I definitely want to give a whirl to. Not that link. That's not the one I wanted. Where are all the things? Okay, so let's go to Steve Sanderson and his repositories. Blazor unit testing prototype. I think that's the one. Yeah. Okay. Now I could clone the repo. I could just download it. I'm already in a repo so I'm kind of like, well, I really wish he would have this as something out in NuGet just to play with. I don't know why he didn't put this out there as something to try. I get it, it's a prototype. Totally understand it's a prototype. That's why I'm thinking of just saying download the zip. Yeah, because all we need is the testing folder. Okay, so we're going to say open the file, and we're going to go this, and that's all we need. So we're going to grab that, and then we're going to come over to, sort of this, blazing the web, and what we're going to do is put that there. Okay. Now, does this has a CSproj file? Very nice. Okay, cool. So if we come back over here, we're going to say add existing project, and way to go. You are the genius. Show me a project. Yes. Okay. And then he has a sample app here. Those actually have components. And this is a test component. And he has 2D tests in there. Okay. I don't really want to change this at all. It's 2.0, which is fine. That's fine. So if I come into, now we want a web components test project. Okay. We're going to say and unit. No, we're just going to do a class library, .NET standard, Blazor tests. Great. Okay, then we're going to come over here and go to my rocks folder, go into my tests, and open this up. What I want to do is grab those. Come into here, close that, delete that. I know there's probably, I think there is an end unit testing one, but that's okay. We want to say this is 2.1. We want to reference, no, package, yeah, those got to be in an item group. Come on, Jason, wake up. There we go. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Target framework, yeah, we actually do that because you can't do that. There we go. Okay, and then we're good with that. And so then what we need to say here is this is referencing our web components. And it's also going to reference this one because we need the experimental testing stuff. Okay. Now, what I can do is do a simple test of sequence view model. Simple. I can also now do a test for arguably geolocation. This is going to be interesting because it's like, how far can I go with this and what do I need to mock up to get it to work? And you know, it can get a little tricky here. It can get a little tricky. And I don't know how his stuff works. So I think this is actually a good time to stop because I don't know how his experimental thing works. I don't know what you can actually do with it. And so that's going to be a little bit of playing around. So with that said, close all these out. Yeah, so we're going to say create tests for MVVM, create tests for a component, and that should be it. All right, so I'm going to stop here and maybe record some more episodes in the future about this, depending upon timing and stuff like that. But I'm going to stop right now and just leave it as is. Oh, I should say one thing. Solution items. Oh, wait. Yeah, hold on. I want to make absolutely clear that I'm giving credit where credit is due. And so let's go over here to personal code, blazing the, no, not that old one, blazing the web, readme. Note that the component testing project can be found here. I always forget. I always forget. Markdown, what's a link? I always forget, is it brackets first or braces first? Lists, links. Yeah, it's the brackets first. Okay. I knew that. Here. There. Okay. I want to make sure that by copying this here, that at least I acknowledge that this is in my code. And I should grab that name and just make sure that I am completely giving credit where credit is due. Okay, that's good enough for now. Got some more stuff to dig into, but we're doing good. We're doing good. So thank you all for watching. Leave comments and questions below. See you in the next episode.